No, I gotta mute one of the two mics. Not sure which one. Hi, Janice. How you doing today, love? Oh, I know that feeling, hun. I'm in the process of trying to get a monkey done for Betty, and I've done very little on it in the last week. Figured being on holidays, I'd get a lot done. Being at my mom's, I'd get a lot done. Learned while going to my mom's, I no longer can crochet, knit, or read in a moving vehicle. I get vertigo and get dizzy. And it's like a, I don't know, 2.5 hour drive each way to my mom's. And I just sat there and watched the scenery. And then, of course, I haven't seen my mom in, oh goodness, over a year. So we were catching up and didn't get much done. But let me know if my audio is good, because I do have this going on YouTube and on StreamYard. And I'm hoping there's no echo or anything like that. But please let me know if you're noticing it, because I can try and fix it, because I'm still kind of new with running both programs. So I know it's a learning process. And we have someone else who's popped in, but they haven't said hi yet. So good afternoon, whomever just popped in. And if anyone ever wants to come up live, I can set it up so they can. Yeah, I'm just looking to kill some time while working on this monkey. So you working on anything right now, Janice? I believe you do the journals, correct? Oh, nice. Yeah, I just finished Granny Square blanket last month for a make along I was participating in. And yeah, it's not even here to show it to you. I think I've already taken it to my camper. What type of stitch are you doing with them? Are you? Oh my goodness. I just won a book for the Sophie Universe blanket. And oh my goodness, I couldn't get over how big the book is. I won it last month. Now, since you're working on it, I'll actually ask you. I haven't started mine, obviously. It's going to be a pretty long process. I know that blanket does take a long time to make. I was thinking about doing mine in the Burnett ombre, and I was debating on doing it either in the purple, the blue, or the teal, and just let the colors flow. What's your opinion on that? Do you think it would work? And just do it all one color kind of thing. Like so, like said, I did the purples, just do it all in the purple ombre from Red Heart. I'm looking for opinions on that because, like I said, I haven't started it yet. I have not purchased the yarn yet. And I'm sitting there thinking, yes, it is very beautiful with the changing of the colors and stuff like that. I just don't want to do with all those ends. Well, thank you. Like, I can't wait to start it because I think it's going to be so much fun. I took the book up to my mom. I go, here's a pattern for you, Mom. And I handed her the book when I was up there on the weekend. She's like, well, patterns. I'm like, no, that's one blanket. And she skimmed through it and she's like, oh my goodness. I'm like, yeah. And then of course my mom, being my mom's like, oh, you're up for the challenge. You can do it. But yeah, when I'd won the book, I thought, now how do I want to do this? And like I said, I think the ombre would look really pretty. I know there is some top stitching done on it in a few spots that I noticed, which is easy. I could just make sure I got a second skein with me at all times and then pull from it. I've done top stitching before, so I think I can manage it. Now, are you very far in yours or just getting started? Halfway kind of thing, Come on, give me the deets. How's it been? Oh, nice. Have you been working on it for any real length of time, or how's the speed for it been going, kind of thing? Oh wow, 40 inches already. Like they're gonna be a good sized blanket. Like I know when the one photo I showed my mom in the book, it's laid out on the floor. It's near the back of the book, I believe. And there's three children laying on it. And I'm gonna put the kids around 6, 8 years old, I think, roughly is where I would age them. And there's still a lot of blanket there. Oh, good afternoon, and how are you doing today? the joys living in an apartment. I'm sorry if you guys can hear any of the noise. The lawn care guys just showed up and started mowing the lawn. My balcony door is closed. So hopefully you guys don't hear that. And then second of all, within like 5 minutes after I set up the live to go for 2:30, my neighbor next door, who's a major hoarder and health-wise not the greatest, has got a team in right now cleaning out his unit. So I'm really hoping the noise isn't picking up on the computer. If it is, I'm very, very sorry, guys. Unfortunately, I can't control the environment around me. Oh, nice. It's always fun having crochet and knitting on the go. 'Cause, like, I know I've heard people say they've lost their crojo, and I don't recall what it's called for knitting, but I've heard of different people say it in the past. I can honestly admit, I'd like to say I've never lost mine, but I think I have in the past where I just all of a sudden don't really want to work on something. It's usually only a day or two I kind of feel like that, but always having a second craft or a third craft. Like I have looms, like the round ones to manually make hats on, which I've never used. I've got a really cute little diamond painting bookmark, which took with me while on holiday. Didn't touch it. It's still in my bag. I've got four actually. Sorry, one's a quilt kind of. Cross stitching kits that I've won over the time and haven't touched them either. So it's like I've got a lot of crafts. I just haven't touched them. And then my mom decided to send me home. Oh, it's over here. With a puzzle, jigsaw puzzle. And I don't mind doing jigsaw puzzles. My mom did it and she said it was fun, but hopefully I can get it in the camera really well for you. The whole puzzle, that's only part of it. And there's another picture of it. Another picture. Normally it comes in a flat box and you can kind of look at the picture. Yeah, this is all paper clips. And I thought, okay, what am I doing with this? And then the worst part about it is once you get the framing done, which took me a moment because I was kind of mucking with it at my mom's, is, okay, I just got to find a piece. Oh, of course, I can put the other ones on the bottom. Like, it doesn't seem like it'll be that hard of a puzzle once you get the framing done. And I was, like I said, I was mucking with it at my mom's. That's an edge. And I honestly, I don't even think I had the edging 100% correctly put together. I think one of the pieces, well, technically it would have been two of the pieces, were in the wrong spot. But here we go. But once you get the edging done, and all the pieces are cut the same shape, so you got two with knob, like two ends are knobs and two ends are the hook piece, as I call them female and male ends. But if you look, one is kind of thin and the other one is much wider. Like you can see the difference. So when you're doing the puzzle, all the thinner ones go sideways, I believe, and then all the thicker ones go lengthwise. So it's easy to kind of figure out where the pieces connect. But yeah, it's going to be a fun puzzle. And then I think I'm going to, because it's different and unique, get some Mod Podge, I believe it's called, and a piece of Bristol board and glue it to that just to hang it on the wall, I guess, for something different. Yes. Well, it'd be a good like something to work on when I'm at the camper and if it's raining and miserable outside. No, unfortunately, we only have the one table up there. I know there's puzzle mats you can buy. They're almost like a silicone, I think, kind of thin. Do your puzzle on it, and then when you got to put it away because you need the space, you just roll it. So I'm thinking about looking at getting one of those and then taking that up to my camper, I think. Now, does anyone know if Norma, I think, is going bingo today, or is it Joe, or anybody know? I know something was mentioned yesterday. I wasn't paying attention. My mom's had some pretty weird puzzles. One she did, I've got a round table that does have a spot to put the piece in to make it more oval, but right now my table's a good round size table. And she did one puzzle that would fit, I would say, probably 45% of my table, or 55%, yeah, just over half, about 55, 60%. It was a round puzzle, and all the pieces were the same shade of green. I thought, yep, that's yours. I don't want it. Thank you. And then she had another puzzle, and it was two-sided. And the one side, when you put it all together, and I think it was about 1,000 pieces or 1,500, it was little city, they turned out to be little city blocks for Where's Waldo. And then, but on the back of it, each little city block had a saying in it. And I know she told me the one block said something along the lines, dogs may eat pieces or something like that. And at the time, my mom had a purebred Chihuahua, and she happened to drop a piece out of that block itself, and Mom's dog did bite it. There was teeth marks in it. I thought, now come on, like that wasn't rigged. And like, so you can either do it, I either try to do the front side, and I don't know if you guys have ever done those books or those pictures where you gotta look for Waldo, or you can try and do it on the back side and figure out what the blocks, each block says. But yeah, it was, she, like I said, she's done some pretty good ones. I've never ever done a double-sided one. Nor, if I can honestly say, I've never done one either that's all one color. I do have one in my closet. I don't even know if I've ever actually put it together. And I know it's a city. It'd be oh my goodness, how can I forget the city? It was a big tragedy. But it's got the Twin Towers in it. And I do know when I get together, as long as there's no pieces missing, because I've had it for years, that is definitely one I like to put up. Like I said, do the Mod Podge and Bristol board on it and stuff and frame it and the thing. But it's actually maybe more than I think. Maybe it's 2,500 piece. It's a pretty big puzzle. But just because of the Twin Towers, I won't get rid of that one. Oh, really? That I did not know. Like I said, like this one, I don't care if I miss a piece, but the other one, I'm hoping I'm not missing any. But knowing that, it's like, great. Are you working on anything right now, or anything special going on with you? I think Edna left us, which is okay. Because I'm just out here trying to get this crocheted monkey finished. Oh, nice. Oh, with the resin, yeah, very nice. I've seen some really nice ones. I know they're not to overshadow your company or anything like that, but in the past, I know other YouTubers I've seen, they get hooks from this one person, and the price is like, wow. But when you see them, because it's part wood and part resin, it's like, I'd be afraid to use that type of hook. Like, even like they're a very popular hook. You can get them either in metal, resin, wood. I don't have any, but I don't think I've ever used, especially the wood ones, because I've seen so many people break their tips. Me, I just buy the cheap metal ones, either from Walmart or off Amazon. I've always been one for the cheap ones. Yes, the furls, that's it. Yes. Like, they're beautiful hooks, but I'd be so afraid to use them. Like, I don't death grip my hook or anything like that. I don't crochet like super, super, super tight where I'm fighting to get the tip in. But I myself would rather just stick with my cheap metal ones. At the moment, I don't have arthritis in my hands, so the thinner hooks I'm fine with. But I'm glad to hear your business is picking up. Nice. I do like the resin idea just because it's a good way to personalize them. Because I know with my hooks, and I've got plenty of them, some of them, like, because they're different companies or I acquired them through different way, like either they were from Walmart or from off of Amazon. You'll get two hooks that say they're the same size, but their colors are not the same. But yet they say also they're the same brand of hooks. But yeah, having them resined or polymer clay or wood, it's kind of neat because then you can keep them as their sets. Like, I do also have a set of interchangeable bamboo hooks to do Tunisian crocheting. I've used them twice, I think now, which I like them because I especially like how you can make the cable different lengths and stuff depending on what you're working on. And like, my metal hooks aren't super heavy, but I find the bamboo ones are way too light, like, even with the bigger sizes. Hello, hello, hello. I'm doing well, and you? Just out here killing a bit of time, trying to get an item finished that I'm working on. I thought, you know what? If I go live and anyone joins me, I can sit and chat and do a bit of crocheting. So this is what I've gotten done on the monkey so far. Learn this darn here. So the head, eyes, the nose. Yes, it is crooked. I cannot sew straight in the body. I've also got done. Now, originally I was doing this monkey for a make along on Facebook. Didn't get it done in time to enter the contest, which is fine with me. So that was the head and the body and the face. But the pattern, oh, monkey down, people, we got a monkey down. The pattern, the ears, I didn't like the way the pattern had you do it. It was done in 2 pieces and then sewn together. And I did another monkey about a month and a half ago for the same group, actually. And the way that ear was done, I liked it better, where you did the inner part and then you just joined and then did the outer part and then decreases. So I do have both the ears made. There's the front parts of the ears. And it's all done in one piece, which I like. So that's the monkey's ears. You don't stuff them. Then I made I'd made already once the arms. Then when I did the video last week, realized I didn't do the thumb part. I totally misread the instructions. And then I missed a round of decreasing, so the arms were not the same size as stitches. But I fixed them. I got new monkey arms with their own little thumbs, which I think are really cute. And then it'll look better once it's stuffed, obviously, but I've never known monkeys supposedly have really big feet. I could be wrong. I've never seen one live in person, but there's the monkey's foot and leg, unstuffed at the moment, obviously. And I'm working on second foot right now. And I just have the tail to do. Yeah. Well, I know the pattern itself originally called for. I know a lot of people are using that type of yarn lately to make amigurumis. I just watched a video the other day talking about it, and I totally drawn a blank. It's a thicker yarn. It's kind of fluffy, plush type yarn. Yeah, drawing a blank. Baby blanket. Yes, thank you. That's the type of yarn. Don't have any myself. I'm fine with using the worsted yarn. But yeah, I would love to do a couple in the blanket type yarn. I think it would make such a soft, adorable little plush animal for somebody, like a stuffy for somebody. Have you ever done an amigurumi with that type of yarn, the blanket yarn? Yeah. Well, same with I know here in Southern Ontario, Michael's, we had, now this is, I think, pre-pandemic. We had this yarn. It had to have been the thickness of, I'd say, almost a golf ball size. And it had like a white in the center of it. And you did the arm knitting type of thing to make blankets. I thought, oh my goodness, my older son's seen it and wanted a blanket out of that. I'm like, then you're learning how to do it yourself. I thought, I am not, because you don't get a whole lot of yardage really for it. And the price was outrageous. And that's my shorter son of the two, and he's 6'2". And I thought, you realize, yes, it would work up quickly. Yes, it would build up the rows quickly. And like, thank God my boys are both thin for their height. But you realize how many of those you need to buy to make one decent blanket to drape over yourself. Oh, you're in BC? Hey, neighbor. What's the weather been like out there for you? I know here in Ontario, Southern Ontario, we had a little hot spell there, which before Humididex, we were in the 30s, like mid 30s. Yeah, the weight of that yarn would be outrageous. And then finding somewhere to store it. Oh, nice. Glad you're getting good weather. We've had a lot of rain here, but to be honest with you, like where my camp, I'm only about a 45-minute drive from my camper. And my camper literally is a 2-minute walk from Lake Erie. And this past winter, we've had up there at my camper, which is off Lake Erie, I think the most amount of snow we had at the camper, which normally we get at least to my knees, up to my hip deep, I think we had maybe an inch of snow all winter. Now, just on the other side of Lake Erie, which is Buffalo and New York and all that, they got slammed hard this past winter. So we've had a lot of rain this year due to lack of snow. Like, I'm glad we're getting the rain because our farmers so needed it this so bad. Like when they were getting their fields ready and prepped and about ready to start seeding and stuff, their grounds were so dry and rock hard. It was, I didn't know how much farmers field stuff we were going to see this year, like planted and growing things because of how bad it was. But finally got the rain, which, like I said, we needed. Not bad. Like, I don't really pay much attention, but hasn't been too bad. Like, I know friends of ours, Like my husband and I, they live a little more up north, and they like they're I'm trying to think how not far from North Bay, and I think they said there's been a couple up there, even though it's a rocky area. But down this way, like down south here, like I believe Quebec, Ottawa way also got some fires this year. But down here in Southern Ontario, we don't normally get the fires too bad. Um, I think the one year we had a couple kind of near us, like, well, a couple hours away. But other than that, not bad. How about out your way? Because you guys get them out that way a lot, don't you? Oh, like I know, like it was last year or the year before. Like it was during pandemic time. You guys had some really bad ones out your way, did you not? Like where lightning started them or something like that? That's not good. Please tell me you and the fam and loved ones and all that are staying safe, and you know you're not in the line of the path and stuff. I'll keep you guys in my thoughts and prayers for sure. Oh wow. Oh man. Like I know they say that forest fires are good because it helps, wean out the older trees and stuff and encourages new growth and stuff for the forest. But like I just sit and think of all the animals and then the people in their homes. Like, yeah, we can rebuild. Yes, we can relocate if need be. But you sit there and you think of all those animals, and it's like, I would not want to. Like the area I live in, we get the odd tornado, minor ones kind of thing. I know we had one here in my city years and years and years and years ago. I think it was prior to me moving here to the city, actually. It took part of one of our school buildings apart because we are not too far from Lake Erie. We've had where in the wintertime, there's a section where the ground is like lake level. And with the winds coming off the lake, with the water, we've had like the ice issue. Um, we get some pretty severe storm, like rainstorms. We can get some very severe winter storms in our area. Like I know pre-pandemic, a couple years prior, pre-pandemic, we got a storm really bad, like winter storm, where they ended up shutting down one of our major highways, and it was a good stretch to the point where they were calling anyone with snowmobiles that are available to come and help, and they would pay for your fuel and your whatever, and you were running up and down the highways checking on vehicles, making sure people have something to eat, something to drink, things like that. Ones who had younger children, they were by snowmobiling, taking them to different locations to get the children out of the environment. And that highway was closed and loaded with vehicles, I think, for about 2 weeks. So, like I said, we can get some nasty winters down here, but lately they've gotten less and less. Like I said, we do have the odd tornado, very small. We will occasionally get a very, very small, almost not noticeable registered earthquakes. So I can honestly say, being here in Southern Ontario, our weather's not bad. I've never, like, we do have some pretty decent ski resorts here in Ontario. I don't think, like, the hills aren't like super, super big. I think the one other Blue Mountain or Talisman, I don't know if you're familiar with those resorts. I think one of them years ago had a bit of a avalanche. But other than that, our weather's actually not bad here. Like I sit and I think of some places, where they have constantly earthquakes or there's constant tornadoes or, some like water damage. And like I just saw a video the other day, actually I think it's alive. And I think it was in Texas. Was it? No, I don't think it's Texas. I do want to say it's Texas. Somewhere in Texas, they had major flooding. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But like I said, up where my trailer is, because it's low lying ground close to the water level, some of the houses along there, most of it's actually cottages, but they're built up on stilts and stuff like that, like almost like if you're down in Florida, because water does rise. And then like we don't have volcanoes or anything here, thank goodness. But to be honest with you, where we are in Southern Ontario, our weather's actually decent. Oh wow. You guys have volcanoes? I didn't realize there was volcanoes out that way. Have any of them ever erupted that you know of? Like I said, like being where I am, other than the traffic, which I know you get that everywhere where, idiot drivers, but other than that, weather wise, I'm in a good area. I like where I'm at. Like I do feel so sorry for, people that are in other areas that have Mother Nature with attitude. Yes. Have you ever seen the movie? I know there's two of them out. One is Dante's Peak. It's a pretty good movie about volcanoes and how they test things regarding it and such. And like I said, I think like, oh my goodness, like I own a couple different Mother Nature disaster type movies like Dante's Peak. I have Twister. I have another one's called Volcano, and it's underground kind of thing. I have the one Day After Tomorrow, and again, like I feel so sorry for people who live in areas where Mother Nature, she cannot play the very nice game with people. Um, Dante's Peak is about a volcano. Um, it hadn't. I know in the video or the movie, it hadn't erupted in many, many years, but they were sent up there. Well, the one scientist was sent up there to kind of do a check on it and just do a reading on it because it hadn't erupted in so long. And his counts he was getting indicated something could happen. So he gets his team involved. They come to this little town. It's a little village town type of thing. It's not a very big place. And it does end up erupting. And, unfortunately, not a very happy ending for a few of the scientists. But it's definitely a good movie. It's, like I said, about a volcano erupting. And in my opinion, for me, like I said, down here we don't get much. Just seeing those things on movies is good enough for me. And I don't know if you've seen Day After Tomorrow. It's where Mother Nature kind of decides to go totally haywire on the planet, and more or less causes like the next ice age. And it's a doozy as well. Oh, wow. Now, that's got to be scary knowing that. Holy moly. I, I, my glove off to you because I don't think I could handle that. Like, I'm pushing 50, and like I said, I've never really seen other than idiots on the road and the odd major snowstorm. I've got it easy. I'm sorry to say I do. And I don't know if I could handle the stress of seeing something like that. Like, I know there's always, especially if you're in the area where this is common, you learn in school how to, like, we have our fire drills. So if we're in school and the fire alarm goes off, what we were supposed to do and such. And like, even to this day, in our apartment building, if our fire alarms go off, we vacate the building. Like, I inform the husband and the son just in case they're sleeping or on their computer with their earbud, like their headphones on and whatever. I'll go in and say, "Get out now!" And when I had my dog, when we had both our cat and dog, I'd open my balcony door. So if my cat had to, she'd get out in the balcony. But my dog, I'd hook him to his leash right away. I always have my keys and my wallet on my kitchen table. Grabbed both of those, grabbed my shoes, grabbed the dog when I had him, and down the stairs we went. Pretty much most times our alarm's gone off and it's been nothing major. But you'd be amazed on how many people I see sitting on their balconies looking around like, what's going on? I'm like, are you an idiot? Oh, wait, yeah, you are. But like, I know 4 different places, like if earthquakes, a lot of places will teach you how to, especially if you're in a school, whatever, get under the table or under a desk. I know for us as well, we were not taught, but we do know getting in a door frame or in a bathtub is good for a twister kind of thing. But I don't know, I just, hmm. Oh, wow. That would have been something. And it's like, I know this may be a shocker. A lot of people don't believe it. My husband, my younger son, and I, we don't have cell phones. I do have my tablet. That's where I take pictures and with such with. But for people who do have cell phone, which yes, very common nowadays, almost everybody has one, having it and then seeing something like that erupt or something like that, yeah, pictures and videos of it, and but that would definitely be scary to see. I don't, like I said, I I wouldn't want to say a disaster, like a Mother Nature type disaster, is on my bucket list, but to witness something major off in the distance, but I can still see it, but know I'm safe, I would probably want to experience that, something like that once in my life. I don't know which way I'd want to go, but I'd want to be forest fires, be a volcano or earthquake, a twister. Like, I don't know, a mudslide. I don't know what type of Mother Nature raft I'd want to witness off at a distance, but I don't know, like something like that. Maybe as long as I know, life isn't being lost via human or livestock of any kind. And unfortunately, with all the wild animals, life's going to be lost, which is sad to hear, but it's the way Mother Nature likes to work. Wow. Like I said, I know one year I was at my mom's with my boys when they were little, and we were up there for New Year's the one year, and my one brother and a bunch of his friends went to the city, well, smaller city next to the town where my mom lived, to go clubbing for New Year's Eve kind of thing, and they'd already had motel rooms booked for all of them and such. And I guess by the time they all got back to the motel, about 2:30 or so in the morning, pretty liquored up. I think my brother said they were all finally pretty much passed out about 3. And then 5:45 in the morning, they were all shook and awake with a size and 2 earthquake, I think it was. It was a good one where I know some bricks fell off of the building that my brother was staying in, and they were woken up due to, their beds are shaking and it doesn't have the quarter slot kind of thing in it. And he said it was not fun. Now, us being the next town over, we didn't feel anything. Thank goodness. Like I said, my boys were kind of young at the time, and I don't think I could handle explaining to them what was going on. But I know, like I said, my brother and all his friends that got motel rooms for the night, they felt it. And I'm like, that would have been a bit of a wild ride. And he said it, like he's a bit of the wild one. Will go snowmobile or skiing and stuff like that. So he's jumped out of a plane. He's done rock climbing. He's the type of friend who will say, hey, let's go do this. And he's like, yeah, what now? Sure, let's go. Without any training kind of thing, if he could have his way. But he said he would never want to experience that again. And that was over 20 years ago now that happened. Because, like I said, my youngest one, he's almost 24. And he was a baby at the time. So, yeah, it's almost a quarter of a century a year ago. Like, I'd say it's about 23 years ago that happened. Wow. Like, I know it's beautiful out your way, like, a lot of really beautiful scenery and stuff, but you guys have it kind of tough out that way. Same with my one uncle, who unfortunately lost due to COVID. He used to drive pickup truck, but he would haul camper trailers cross country here in Canada, and he would go into the States as well, actually, a fair bit with the campers. And I know he always said that if you're out in the Rockies and like going up to the mountains and stuff, which I would love to experience. Like, I've only been out of Ontario once in my life, and we lived just outside of Red Deer, Alberta for a year, and I was 5 at the time. So 4 or 5, I don't remember it. But I do know my uncle said that if you're out in the Rockies with, possible boulders falling on you and such, no driver should ever say, I know that like the back of my hand, because that's when, all of a sudden you're going to forget part of the drive, and then all of a sudden not realize you're at one section when you think you're at another. But yeah, you guys have some pretty extensive weather out that way. Same with, like, I would love to go out to like Nova Scotia and New Brunswick and PEI and all that, and go and see the orchids. I would love to go out that way and, be able to go out in the water for a good length of time, like multiple days, and see that kind of stuff. Just to experience that as well. Like, unfortunately, we just have the lakes here, and we don't get anything enormous, obviously, as you would out in the oceans and stuff. I know my husband's uncle. Now he's passed away recently, like a few years. I want to say last year, the year before, actually. But he lives out. He lived out in Saskatchewan way, and his business was breeding Papillon dogs, and he had a nursery for like certain plants and such. And I know there was an issue out there. I believe it was back around the time my husband and I got married, so that was 2003. Yeah, I think it was in 2003. And out that way, they determined where they were going to cause these floods or whatever, and they had to blow some dams or something like that. It's like, wow. Same with like go to like the Hoover Dam or the Grand Canyon. I've never been out of Canada ever, and I would love to go see those type of things. You know, like Mother Nature, she's amazing. But I don't know, like it's on my bucket list. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I won't regret it, kind of thing. But yeah, my like I said, my uncle-in-law, he lived out that way, and I know they had to blow some dams and stuff, and his house was one of the ones that was damaged, and they already had it in place, from receiving money for doing so and such, and got to build a new place. And for what animals he did have, he was able to rehome them for the time being, and they were safe. Now he did lose all his nursery stuff, but he was fine with that. I was always against going to the US, I think mainly due to medical. Like we've got here, at least here in Ontario, like, we got our Ontario health card, and we've got pretty decent coverage for medical. Like even like to go to the hospital in the States to get like 4 or 5 stitches in your hand because you've sliced it open or something doing whatever. Like you gotta pay for all that. Yeah, you're in and out of the hospital a lot quicker than what we are here in Ontario. But if I'm not bleeding out, I'm okay with sitting in the hospital for 3, 4 hours if I have to get some stitches. I know I'm not paying for it. Why not, right? Like I don't know what you guys have out your way for healthcare, but I think healthcare's been one of two reasons I've never wanted to go to the States. Second, the schooling. Like, yeah, our public schools here, like I'm thankful my boys are both done school and stuff. Wasn't bad. My niece and nephew, who are 13 and 17 now, where my boys are 23 and 27, so like a little distance between ages. But with my niece and nephew with their schooling, teachers aren't in it, for the love of the children like they used to be. Where when my kids were in school, schools were great here in Ontario. The teachers really cared. They really put an effort in it, making sure your child had extra help if needed and such. And I know down in the States, like you hear so many school shootings and bullies and gangs. And I think the only reason I'd ever want to go to the States is if it was a one-day trip and I had lots and lots of money and I could go to Joann's or Hobby Lobby and do a huge yarn haul. Like, I mean, huge, like hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars worth of shopping, and be able to bring it all back across the border and not have to pay any taxes or duties or anything on it. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I know I'm close to the borders. Like I could cross in, like for me to go to the border in Niagara Falls, it's just over an hour drive. The one in Fort Erie, I believe that one's the Peace Bridge. I think it's only about a 50-minute drive going the back roads. The one in Niagara, if I take the highway, it's around an hour, hour and 10 minutes. And then there is another bridge as well. We have, actually, I think there's 4 bridges. I think there's one out Windsor Way as well. So we've got different bridges near all of them. I think the one at Windsor is about 2.5 hours. Well, I take the highway all the way across and out. It's about 2.5 hours. So I'm not far from the border. I just don't think I would ever go across it. But yeah, like I said, could go do a craft haul. I would be for it. Like I'm thankful we have our Michaels, and then here in Southern Ontario, I know we also have Mary Maxim, which is where the original store was built in Paris, Ontario, and it's a pretty decent store to go shopping at. I've only been there once, and then just finished a blanket for my mom, who my brother bought her the kit for Christmas. But here also in my city, we have another store called Lens Mills. Now, yes, the yarn is a little more expensive than Walmart, but way more variety. Like I'd rather go to Michael's or Lens Mills to do my yarn shopping. Yes, Walmart's cheaper, but I'm lucky if our aisle is 5 feet long with yarn in it. So, but yeah, I would love, love, love. Like I see different people who do yarn hauls, and I know for us in Ontario here, if I go to Michael's and say I've got a 30% coupon, 'cause that's the one that's in my email right now, I can use that on one regular item. Where if you go to like Joann's and they have their coupons and say it's a 30% coupon, it's over your whole purchase. I'm like, I wish we had that here. Like, it's unbelievable the sales you can get over there for your yarn. And same with, like, I've heard of different people going to the dollar store and buying yarn. We have Dollarama and Dollar Tree here mainly for our dollar stores. Dollarama, like I don't go to Dollar Tree often, which I should because that's where most of the people talk about. But I do know if I go to my Dollarama, it's I think a 50. Actually, I don't even think it's a 50-gram ball. Like they're tiny. Maybe a 25-gram ball of yarn for $4. I was like, what am I going to do with this? Start inside of a granny square? Because that's all I'm going to get out of it. And for that price, not worth it. If I ever go across, I'm going to do a big shopping spree. I'll definitely keep you in mind. But like I said, like that would be the only reason I would go to the States is if I could go do a shopping spree. And I know like a lot of people will go over to the States for like their Black Friday sales. But I know here in Ontario, at least, a lot of our stores try to kind of match or very close to the same prices as you can get down in the States. So just to keep, our people here. But like I've seen videos for like Black Friday sales at stores and the way they trample everybody, and it's like, no thank you. The Black Friday and their Boxing Day sales are crazy. Like my mom did live here in the city for a few years. She was going to had been a Black Friday sale because it wasn't snow on the ground. And it was at I want to say the Brick. Nope, I don't think it was the Brick. Maybe it was. I know it was for a new laptop. She had gotten the flyer the week before in the mail, so she planned it all out and such. My husband and I ended up being up during the night, so we went up to keep her company for a bit. And then I stayed in line for her while my husband took her to go to the washroom at one point. But like here, I know for those type of sales, yeah, people line up early, which I think is crazy. But it wasn't like the line was like super crowded. There was maybe 50 people. Like by the time the doors were ready to open, I think she said there was about 50 people in line. But about a half an hour before doors opened, they'd come out and they started at the beginning of the line. My mom was like the third in line or something like that, and would ask you what you were there for, and then they gave you a specific color of bracelet. And my mom was the first one. Oh my God. Idiot. That's all I can say about the person who worked there. My mom got the bracelet for the laptop. I was still with her at the time. Like my husband and I were still up there. My husband just stayed in the truck. I went in with my mom, and she said she was there for a laptop, blah, 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 blah. She even showed the staff in the line which one she was there for. They put the bracelet on her, so on and so forth. They were letting in certain departments, so many people per department in at a time, and they could just look at your bracelet to know which department you were. Mom was the first one for laptops, which was awesome. We got in and out pretty quickly. We get up to the counter. She shows the lady the flyer, the one she wants. She did whatever on her computer, then went to the back room, came out almost to the counter and drops it. My mom looked at it and goes, I'm not taking that one. You can go get me a different one. I don't care what kind of packaging it's in. I am not taking that laptop. And she made the lady go put it back and get another one. And they only had the two. So they only sold one that day. Because then the manager got wind of something was going on, came over to find out what was going on. And Mom's like, yeah, she brought me out the first one, and she dropped the box on the floor. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? You would think. And like this was, yes, the doors just opened. It was just 6 a.m. It's not like, they've been mad rush for hours. It just started. I'm like, she either had too much or not enough caffeine. But I thought, like, wow. But like to go to the States to do those type of sales, keep me as far away as possible. I would love to go over there, like if finances wasn't the issue, having my passport and going across, and my husband at the time to, was able to drive and, not have to worry about work or anything like that. I still don't think I would ever go over for a Black Friday or a Boxing Day sale. Black Friday especially, like, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Like I said, if I was going to go over there for a yarn, I'd like to go over there to, I can't think of the top of my head where it's held. I know there is a couple places I think that does it, and they do the huge tent sales. Yeah, not a chance, exactly. I would love to go over for the tent sales, because I know there's, like, I believe Mary Maxim here in Ontario has a tent sale occasionally. I think the Mary Maxim in the States, I'll just let it go to voicemail. In the States, they have a pretty decent tent sale, but I know there's another place or other places that have tent sales. And I would love to possibly go and check that out at some point. But again, do I really want to go to the States? Is it really worth my time, my gas, and then, paying all the duties and taxes and all that stuff, crossing the border, coming back? Because I'd want to be honest about it, and, you get caught. Not a good thing. And where my husband's the only driver and our truck is the only vehicle, I wouldn't want to put that at risk, But we've been on for over an hour now, so I'm going to call it quits. Thanks for visiting with me. I didn't get a whole lot done. I got a few rounds on the second foot. So I didn't quite get much done, but thank you for stopping by and visiting with me. I'm hoping to do more lives where I'm actually physically crocheting something, but you know how it can be. So, keep safe. Hopefully, you guys are safe and stuff with the fires and everything and your loved ones. I'll keep thinking about yous, and I'll catch you soon out there on the YouTube streets, okay? Be safe, love. Bye. Oh. I know, can get sidetracked very easily. But anyway, you take care, love, and I'll see you soon.